This is Clark Connor Hanks, and this is Miss Sandy, and she was a childhood friend of Elvis, and I wanted to let her know that I was introduced to her by my good friend and old substitute teacher, Mr. Robinson, who is a good friend of mine and a wonderful man, and she knows him, and she knows I'm a cousin of Elvis, and I wanted to meet her, and I wanted to get to know her. The first question is, what was he like? What would he say about me, if he met me, my mama, and my auntie?
I'd be so proud to know that you cared enough to really care. He was giving, so funny. Oh my God, he had a wonderful sense of humor. And he'd laugh at himself most of the time. And then correct whatever mistake or thing he'd said or whatever. There's just so many positive things about him that were part of my life. Let me back up. My uncle was a good friend, was a running friend with Elvis. And when Elvis would be in town, or even before he joined the Army, they would play touch football at a place out by near Memphis State, which was not a university, it was just a college. But near the railroad tracks, and they would play touch football, and 20, 30 guys would show up. And coming from a Baptist background, my dad wouldn't let me be around the guys. I was 14 years old at the time. He wouldn't let me participate. So I kept hearing about Elvis and Daddy kept talking about his shaking his leg and this and that, and I didn't need to be around that or anything like that. And my mother was just, you need to go, I'll get you there. And through the years and the good things that my uncle would say about Elvis and the stories he would tell about things that were going on, things that would happen in hospital, things with St. Jude, things that Elvis did behind the background. He didn't want people to know he was doing because he didn't want that part of it. When I got to the point that I could be a part of it and actually got to go to Elvis at 11:30 on a school night, it was because my parents had taken the time to go and meet Gladys and Vernon, knew that I was going to be protected. They lived on, this was before he even moved to Grayson. They were on Audubon Park, and it was good, clean fun. There was no smoking, no drinking, no cussing, no alcohol, no nothing. It was good, clean fun. Things that kids don't even know how to associate with today, because the music was mainly religious-based music. He was extremely a strong believer in God. That came from Grace and Vernon. J.D. Sumner and the guys that backed him up. We used to have gospel musics all the time, concerts here in Memphis with the Blackwood Brothers and the Statesmen and Legionnaires and all people like that. And Elvis would be backstage and they'd bring him out. Well, that's how he met J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, and to the religious end of the association. The music, I was into music. I was a singer and wanted to be a singer and would have been a singer, except for choices that I made in life. And I got away from it, and I was so sorry, but I was encouraged because of him and the different things that were going on, and then J.D. Sumner and all of them. And changed. Internally, I changed because of the association. Red and some of the runners with Elvis. I mean, Red was more. I don't know why I remember him more than the rest of them. I don't even remember his last name.
Red West?
He was so protected. He was the right-hand man. I mean, he was who Elvis depended on quite a bit. There was another guy, I don't remember. Nancy the maid, the housekeeper. She was a kick. I mean, she didn't take any bump back off of anyone. So, it's just, all I can honestly tell you is that I'm a young girl at the time, and I was 16 when I finally met her. Almost 16 when I finally met her. And I was around until I was 21 years old when I got married. Priscilla came in 1963, I think it was. I think that was the year. I was supposed to graduate in 62, and I had so much fun, and I missed so much school because of Elvis. That was okay. I didn't care. I was doing what I wanted to do. I was following my dream. I had a girlfriend who I told you about from Las Vegas, and I did find out. I prayed she died. Otherwise, you'd have your hands full with stuff. But her name was Gloria Mowell. And Gloria, at 14, and with 2 other girlfriends, would jump on a bus or hitchhike. They'd go down to the Louisiana Hayride. They'd go into Little Rock. They'd go into Nashville. They'd go into Kentucky. And between Vernon and Red and all of them, they would get them on the bus and get the kids back home because they'd be gone for days. But they put them up in the motel. They fed them, and they were protected. We were just never we were never in any harm when we were in the crowd. I think that's what I've held on more than anything.
It's amazing.
That he was trusted, he could be trusted.
How was he loving? Like, I also wondered how tall he was.
I want to say 6 foot. Well, to me, he was 7 foot tall, but 6 foot 1.
Oh, so he was about my height.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he wasn't an extremely tall guy at all. I know it. Excuse me. At one point, he started putting some lifts on his shoes, but I don't know if that was because of stage presence or whatever was going on.
Would me and him have been best friends? That's the one thing I
Oh, I
always
think he would have adopted Jim Minute. Seriously. He missed his brother. I think that's one reason he had such a wealth of male friends.
It would mean a lot if he was. I always wondered what he'd think of me, and the fact that you say he'd be proud of me.
Oh, of course he would.
I would have loved to have known him. He seemed like the most genuine human being.
Let me tell you, he did so many things, like I said, that people don't know of. He was sitting in a hospital. One of the guys had been injured, and there was a old black lady. They were in the emergency room, and an old black lady was sitting there waiting to find out about her husband. He'd been injured somehow in a wreck. And Elvis and 2 of the guys were there. And I don't know, I don't remember the whole story, but I know that they lost their car, and the man was going to be in a cast for quite some time and be out of work. And I want to say he was a trash man. I know he had something to do with city services. Elvis called one of the guys over. He had a friend working at the Cadillac dealership. He had a car waiting for the lady and her husband. When he got out, within the week, he got out of the hospital within the week. There was a car waiting. There was an envelope, and there was a certified check in there to make sure that they were taken care of for at least a couple of months and expenses. These are things he did behind lines. I mean, very few people, and I don't even remember how my uncle knew the story other than the fact that he was a part of it, but I don't know what part of it. There were kids at Labano, and the children's home, especially during the holidays. They never wanted for anything because he was going to make sure every kid there was well covered. Families were covered. He just did so much behind the scenes that of course, that wasn't part of Colonel Parker's or Dr. McCoplis's, whatever his name was, scenario. They wanted to keep him up and keep him away from him. Elvis wanted to do serious movies. And he only did one serious movie, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really remember.
Charo.
Yep. And they didn't like that.
There was one role that, to this day, as a superhero fanatic, much as he was a Captain Marvel Jr., I always thought he would have made the best Superman.
Well, he definitely would have had the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have been great, kind of like Christopher Reeve was, probably better.
His sense of humor, first of all, would have made him great in the role because he would have been able to act and portray anything he wanted to portray. He could portray that. When he would come in, the Lightmans are the ones that own the state, Memphis Palace and Memphis State, or state, low state, whatever, movie theaters. They had a big home in the home theaters, and that's where we would meet, was at their home, or the home studios. And Elvis would bring in 3 to 4 new movies that hadn't been released. And the last one I remember was Your Sheep and Heart with George Hamilton. And Elvis would get on stage and stand in front of George Hamilton and do the whole 9 yards, but he did it as a comic thing, and it was hysterical for him to be doing the talking in the movie and the singing and everything else, and George Hamilton doing all this stuff. But once again, popcorn and cokes and fun, and that was Elvis.
There's questions like I wondered, like, how old was Priscilla really when they started dating? Because I believe
14.
Really?
You have to remember, Priscilla's father, I don't remember what rank he was in the service, but there were 2,500 men on campus, and she was pretty wild back then. So when Elvis came on, even though he was older than her, he was 9 years older than I was, I think at the time he was 14 years older than her. I may be wrong.
I think Elvis was 10 years. It's just like, people
he was more than 10 years older.
Elvis? Mm-hmm. She was, the one thing that it's just, I was trying to prove to so many people he was innocent that I don't think it's as bad. I know in today's society it looks bad, but I don't think he meant any harm because I know at the time it was different.
No, he didn't. He really was trying to save her soul, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, like I said, she was wild. When she got to IC, the nuns wanted to shut the doors and not let her in. Had he not been a part of it, no, she never would have been allowed to stay at IC. She would always, if her skirts were supposed to be a certain length, according to the length of the arms or something, she would always turn them up at the waist and get them shorter. And she was always confident. Priscilla's always confident.
I was trying to prove that, like, one thing, like, people in my town and some people in San Antonio, Texas know me, and they say mean things about him and saying the disgusting words, accusing him of the P word. You know what word I'm talking about. And and that was not him. He was just a really, I like to think like this. He wasn't. He was just a really loving to everyone.
I honestly don't believe, I don't believe anything ever happened. That wasn't his nature, first of all. Now he had girlfriends. Don't
Anita
mistake
Wood.
me. He had
And
Dolores
Margaret.
Hart and Margaret Hart. Anita Wood. I mean,
And Margaret, beautiful woman.
Ursula Andrews. If they were out there, yeah. I mean, he dated them. I don't know what he did. He was an adult at the time. They weren't. Priscilla wasn't an adult. He recognized that. There was a promise he made to his mother, first of all, before she died. Not so much about Priscilla, but just about his life in general. So no, I do not think that he was a part of it.
And he never did. He never groomed her at all.
No.
I know he didn't. That's the
And
problem.
I don't doubt that she didn't try, but I guarantee you his will was a lot stronger than hers.
Yeah, I heard rumors that she stalked him and wouldn't leave him alone when he was in the army.
That's one reason we all left the city. She ran
That's
us all.
right.
She literally ran us all.
So that's why he got on the plane, right? I remember I saw the footage. He was waving at everybody. He wasn't waving at her. He was saying goodbye to everyone. I was trying to prove for so long that all the people that bullied me for being his baby cousin, accusing him of all those things, that's all I wanted was to know his innocence. And it just breaks my heart that people in my
Well,
generation
it's because they didn't know him. If they had
They
known,
exaggerated
if they had known him, they wouldn't have doubted it because they would have actually known him. Not, it's like with my own kids. I would never deny they would not do anything. However, being around him, the period that I was around him, it's not, and there were enough of us young girls around that were Priscilla's age and older. No. He had the opportunity at any time, at any given time, and it never was taken.
So in today's society, he would still be innocent, right?
I think so. I think he would. I think he would have more of a character than today's people.
There's so many serious roles. I think. Imagine him as Indiana Jones. That would be. Harrison Ford. I wonder if Harrison Ford was a fan.
No, I don't know. It's not a name that was ever associated with him.
So one of the other things is like, man, that's a good question. So it would have been nice to be his best friend or something. And he said he missed his brother. I know Jesse passed away to stillborn, and Elvis felt like he was everywhere. The way you
Gladys held on to him real tight.
the way you complimented me like that, just warmed my heart. And growing up, I've had many older brothers, and the closest one I had, our brother around my age, is my brother Ryan Dale, and he is such a fan of Elvis. He's my best friend, and we've been child, so he's like my younger brother, and we've had each other's backs for over 20 years now. And he is a huge Elvis fan. He was excited to see me come on this trip.
Oh, I hope you did. I was telling Mom, I hope y'all get to come up and actually
I
see
hope so.
his first house.
Tupelo.
It's in East Memphis. Not Tupelo. The one, his first one here, because they when they moved here, they lived in off of Parkway, down around the old fairgrounds location, at a housing project. There's a picture somewhere floating around. I wish I still had it. He was 13, 14 years old. The girl sitting next to him may have been 10, 11, or sitting on the sidewalk. And he's got an old pair of what do you call them?
Cowboy?
No,
Gun.
Suspenders.
they are jeans, like an old farmer would wear.
Oh, okay.
And an overall. He had a one arm off out of the overall. Legs rolled up on the pants. You could tell.
He wore overalls, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
I know he's a cowboy fan. That's why I said gun.
The picture is awesome because it shows him at a young age. But there was a determined look on his face in this picture. He was going to do something, and this was years before he'd really got into the music end of it. There was a store down from where they lived, and it was
Would you like some water?
I keep getting it. The black man that ran the store, and there were 3 black men that sat on the front porch with their guitar. One had a ukulele or a fiddle, one had a violin, and one had a guitar. And it was nothing but Christian music, old black Christian music, soulful music. And he would sit there and I think this is when he told his mom he wanted his guitar. And she went down and got him a guitar. And I don't remember at a pawn shop or something. She got it someplace, from what I understand. And that's when he learned how to play the guitar. And he would take the guitar everywhere, even to school, and sit under the trees, and kids would gather around, and that's how they began to pay attention to him. Which he never thought he had the attention. He never understood why he had the attention he got. He was very humble, and his being, I can honestly tell you.
The one thing that came to me is that when I was 17 is when me and Mama found out we were related through ancestry. And I didn't make a big deal about it at the time. I was just like, this is a cool fact, and I started listening to it, but it was music more. And then a few years later go by, and when I was 22, the biopic with Austin Butler came out. And Austin Butler did such a good job, and when I watched the movie, it gave me inspiration. I looked more into his past, and I said, this is my big cousin. He was amazing. He was a genuine man. He was a giver. He was a caring person. The one thing I would tell him if I met him and say, man, I just want to meet you and just be accepted. I don't want fame or money. I just want you to love and be my friend. That's all I want. Most people will come out and say they're related and try to get something out of it. That's not what someone should do.
There were enough of those hanging on through the years that did nothing to use his name. That's the reason Priscilla kept his name, because Priscilla would be nothing if she was Priscilla Below. She never would have done anything had she not held on to Elvis's name. She has used it all the way.
Did you know Lisa?
I only met Lisa one time. And she wouldn't have remembered me. I mean, she was like 2 years old. It was right after I had left, whatever. And it was just one of these old trips to Graceland. And that was it.
He was just, there's so many things I would ask him. But like, he seemed like one of the, not only the most genuine, but he seemed like he was the last, I feel like he was one of the last few people on this earth that had a heart full of love and had no negative bone in his body.
Well, he didn't have, until he got into the drug end of it.
And it was prescription meds, right?
Oh, yeah.
From Dr. Nick. So I like to think it wasn't his fault. Mental awareness is very important.
No, he like I said, he was, Al Wallace had to have him up to perform and put him on a plane, and then he had to sleep, and Dr. Nick had to get him up, and then get him up again to get him back on a plane to head him back to California. So, no, this was not by choice. However, he was introduced to it before any of the rest of us knew it because of Priscilla. Priscilla was heavy into getting marijuana and stuff like that nobody even knew she was getting. I don't even know how she was getting it. So, I mean, this was happening when Elvis was gone. He wasn't even around when she was doing it. So he would not. She was going to get kicked out of school, and her dad was going to bring her back to Germany because she was playing her act out.
Yeah, like the movies that she released in her book really hurt his reputation, and that's why the world is divided.
She had to do something to build herself up because she had such a bad.
I mean,
bad record.
I thought about meeting her, but after all these controversies, it's like I don't want to talk to her because she hurt him. He'd be heartbroken.
Well, he was heartbroken a long time ago. I mean, he truly did love her, but he loved Louisa Marie more than anything. That was the love of his life. It wasn't Priscilla. I think that's what Priscilla resented more than anything. But she wasn't number one.
And just one or two more questions before we wrap up because we got to get on the road.
Yeah.
One, do you think? I think one thing. It's not a question; it's a statement. Maybe it is a question. I think, from my point of view, he would have adored my mama and my aunt here because they love him to death, and they probably would have loved to get to know him.
He
as
loved
well.
family. Don't ever deny it. Family to him was everything.
Not just
Who'd you say his true love was?
Lisa Marie.
Don. He loved her to death.
Dolores Hart, I believe, was his first true love. Until she left Hollywood and became a nun. He truly loved her.
Deborah Paget as well.
Well, she was good, but Dolores Hart was the one that had his heart.
Elvis had a type as well. A lot of the women he dated all looked similar. Like when Priscilla and Ginger Alden looked similar. Same with Deborah Paget and Anne Margaret with her hair dark. They would all look alike.
And he had a style, but I don't even know what it was, to be honest. He made a lot of bad choices, and he made some of it may have been very selfish for what he could get or what he could give, or if this is what they wanted from him, this is what they.
One thing, the last question is, I always wondered, like, if I walked up on his doorstep and he were here today, and I told him, "Hey, man, I'm your little seventh cousin from Texas," would he believe me? That's the one thing I wonder.
Oh, he didn't look at you.
Like, I always thought, like, some lady was on social media, bullied me mercilessly, and she said, "Oh, you're a seventh cousin, there's only 3% of DNA, you're not even blood related." And it really hurt my feelings, and I said, it doesn't matter. No matter how far you are in the family, the genetics are still there. The personality is still there.
Through blood. You go all the way back to his great-great-grandparents. It's not one generation or 2 generations. It's 7 generations.
And it's still there, right?
Yeah. So it may be deleted. It may not be anything more than proof that the blood is there. But you're going to meet him one day.
I will. We both will.
Oh, I
and
guarantee
you'll see him.
Oh, I'll see him.
And I will. And I'm on the house on me. I'm kidding.
I guarantee you. It's going to be a glorious day. It really
Well,
will.
I can't wait to shake his hand and say, "Sir, it's an honor."
Just hug him.
Hug him.
Just hug him.
I would love to meet Jesse. I would love to meet Benjamin. Benjamin looks much more like him than I do. I think me and Ben could have been best friends too. I always thought my brother Dale looked a lot like Benjamin. My brother Dale didn't really respond to it when I told him we were related. He just left me on red. I was like, well, that's a bummer. But the thing is, I'm glad that you got to meet me and talk to me about him, and it just...
Well, I'm glad you reached out, and like I said, everything is according to God, and where it started, and how it started, and here we are, So, don't ever question what's put before you. It just depends on which path you take, which way you're going to go.
Yes.
Just stay positive. He was always positive, believe me. Even in his self-doubt, he's very positive. But he prayed.
You okay? If you need some water, would you like a hug?
Sure. I love your cousin.
You care for, sweetheart.
I won't won't get back to Kerrville, that's for sure. But hopefully he'll get to Memphis.
I will try my best. It's just such an expensive world, you know.
I know it is.
I will try my best. I told my mama I would love to try my best to come back next year for Elvis.
Every chance you get, you know, do what you can.
I would,
So, make yourself a goal.
and
Put money aside.
well, that was the interview. It was an honor to meet you, Miss Sandy, and I will keep contact and talk with you.
Oh, I hope so, and
I
I will
promise.
make sure that Michelle has your phone number, so give it to you. Because I won't always be around, but at least she can tell you where some of the things are around here. You know, like I said, we love Leonard's barbecue, so if you ever get back here, you gotta go to Leonard's barbecue.
And Mr. Robinson, I know him because he was my old substitute teacher at my high school. And he was the most genuine, most kind, soft soul.
That's what she is. You know, like I said, you know,
He's a good friend.
Maybe 2.5 hours together. And here we are years and still talking. So,
It's always good to have friends and
oh
family.
yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the man other than that he's a professor. That's all I know.
He's a good teacher.
Oh, that's great.
He's a great man. And Mr. Robinson, if you're watching, it was always a pleasure for you to be one of the best substitute teachers I've ever had, sir. God bless you, sir. All right, that's a wrap, man, Sarah.
Okay.
And you want to take a picture together?